So that means two persons are either still crediting their tickets or their tickets are not here. All right, so if I open your ticket, please just go ahead. So this is Chidebere Osimiri.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
So on my reporting, I actually did not add the test environment, but I hope I can go ahead. I found out that in the sign up page, I was able to enter a password that was less than 8. It was less than 8 values, and in the expected results, we were told that the password field should contain greater than or equal to 8 values, including the uppercase, the lowercase, and the numeric value characters and the special characters.
Okay. Where did you get your expected result from? Okay, I mean, we don't even know what you were testing because we don't have the name of where you are testing, so we don't know. But since we know that your test is about a sign-up flow, so what is the how do you come about your expected result? So it seems Osimiri off his mic. Can we have Oyeka?
I'm sorry, my data was not rated.
Can we have Oyeka, please? Can Chioma go? So Oyeka and Chioma, they are not on the call. Can we have Nike?
Good evening, sir. So from your instruction, you said we shouldn't add any description or anything, but I'm seeing other people adding description. Is it that I was supposed to add description?
Who said you shouldn't add description?
You were saying it's when you were giving us the instruction for the
Did any other person hear that?
Yes, I heard the same thing. We should just rate a bulk ticket and not put anything inside.
Who else heard that, please?
You said we should not put what was it called? The other side, not the description. The intestine and you said you should just put the to-do list, everything that we put there. You should not put comments. That's what I heard.
Who else heard? Okay. Who else heard what the last speaker heard? Or who heard a different thing outside these two positions?
Okay, sorry. I was having issue with my network earlier. From what I heard, you said we should just create a ticket. So I don't really hear much. I don't know if I can speak on my own tickets.
Who is speaking, please?
This is Onyeka.
All right. So there's something I want to correct very quickly. Create a ticket and you don't put a description of the you have not created any ticket. All right. So the fact that you create something and you put bulk and you put a summary, that's really not the ticket. You have not created a bulk ticket. I mean, we I think we have done extensively on what a bulk report should be, and this is a bulk report. And I told you before, that when we say ticket, we are referring to how JIRA organizes tasks and tickets are used to represent either tax or bug and all of that. So when I say log a bug, I mean create a bug ticket. And if you create a bug ticket, that means everything that should be in a report for a bug should be there. What I said is, when you create your bug, it should be in to do. So I'm not expecting to see anybody's bug in done. I'm not expecting to see anybody putting comments of pass or not pass, right? So how some people had that I will give you 15 minutes to just create something that will take you less than 5 seconds to do is amazing, sincerely. All right, so we'll proceed. I think for now, for all of the tickets we went through, have there been any new ticket? So somebody else have created the tickets and all of that. All right, so for the ticket we've gone through, I think everybody falls short below 30. All right, so if you create this thing and you say you have created a ticket for a bug, like typically this, I mean, I don't know how this is a bug report, sincerely. So I don't think I'll give you 15 minutes to create that thing that took you less than 2 seconds to create. Yeah, but I mean, Osimiri, you tried in what you did anyways. It's just that you didn't tell us, you didn't include the environment. All right, so we'll move forward. So the next conversation we are having is on test summary reports. All right. And a test summary report offers a critical details about testing cycle. I told you what test cycle is, right? The first time you set out to test, it depends on how you're testing. So most time tests is executed in cycles, especially a black box test. So before you start testing in black box, that means the product is ready for you to test. So when you test the first time, you report bugs. So that's the first cycle. So they will fix it. When they bring it back, you retest and do regression again. That's the second cycle. All right. So that's how that's what cycle is. So it gives us details about the testing cycle as well as the status of the test results. So the test summary report is a document that contains summary of test activities and final test results. And the summary report is important because it communicates the test result and findings to the project stakeholders so that decision can be made for the software release. That is, if further testing is required or we need to delay the release. So in a situation where there was a time ban for us to test, and after testing, we need to provide a report. So the report will give us an idea. Were we able to effectively, where are we on the test? What did we test? What are the things that are pending? What are the bugs that we saw? How many have been fixed? And how many is currently open? What are the priority of the bugs that are open? Is it of a high priority? How about the severity? Are they critical? Because I told you before, if we are going to move, if we have some bugs that are not really critical, and we intend to do them maybe in the next 2-3 sprints. So at the end of the sprint, that means the summary report will see those bugs that are open, but they are all minor bugs, right? So we can still go ahead, you know, without fixing those bugs. Maybe we want to even do a release. Release means I'm pushing an update of the app to the customers. And we know that, okay, there are minor bugs here that, I mean, it wouldn't really be a problem. So we can go ahead and do the release. So this report shows us how all of that works. And then the report consists of the following information: the project information, and of course, the project manager will give you all the information you need about the project. So from there, you can just coin a little description or a little overview of the project would be in the report. Then we have the test objective. So what were we really looking out to test? So you list out what the test objective is. We did test objective the other time. And then the test summary. So in the test summary, you will include the number of test cases, the ones executed, the ones that were failed, if there are ones that are currently blocked that we couldn't test, if there are ones that were skipped, if there are all of those things that are necessary, we provide all of them in the test. And then defects, which is like one of the most important things we want to see in the report, is the fact that we provide the details of the defect that we found, the ones that are currently open, the ones that are closed, and the ones that we intend to do like in a future sprint. That's like the deferred one, right? And then their severity and their priority. So I also provided a test link, or a link to a test summary report. Let me see if I can fish that. Inside link, okay. So I just want to run us through what the report looks like. All right, so here is a typical test summary report. And in this report, as I told you, there's the description, there is the application overview, there's a testing scope, the metrics, and test environment. So these are the key things that I really need, because this is what you'll be using for your project and for your assessment and all of that. These are the key information that that is really needed in this context, and this covers for what we have explained so far. So when you go through this document, you would see a brief description of the projects, which is testing of ABCD transportation system. And then you see the overview of that application. The test objective is that we're looking at doing a functional test. And this test was carried out on the application as per sprints in order to verify the app functionality. So it was purely a test focused on functional testing. Okay. Then the test scope, we provided what was tested, how it was tested, and all of that information is here. And then we have in scope and out scope. These are all the features that were in this test. And then performance testing was not done, because again, you can see from our objective, we are focusing on functional tests. And this is what we tested. Out scope is that we did not do performance tests. All right. Then we also list any other item that was not tested. Okay, so this constitutes like the testing scope. So the metrics now gives us details of what we planned and what was executed. All right, so now we have the number, this is number, this NO, number of test cases planned. That's the total test cases that were involved in all of these things that we set out to test. So let's assume this had up to 200 test cases. And then we say, okay, the planned test cases is 200. Then how many did we actually execute? All right, so that's what that is pointing to. And then number of test cases that passed and number of test cases that failed. All right, so you can see here, detailed in this table, the test cases planned is 80. Test cases executed is 75. So that means 5 test cases were not executed. All right, because we total of 80 test cases, but only 75 were executed. Then of the 75 that executed, 70 passed, 5 failed. And you can see a chart of that. So you can go further to say, okay, for the test cases that failed, and this is their severity. So you can add column for that because it's not here. You can add column for the severity. Maybe 2 is severe, 3 is not severe, or all of that, right? Using the severity types that we have gone through. So status distribution, feature-wise, we have the different features. You know, here we gave a summary. And don't forget, these are all the features that we tested: registration, booking, payment, report. So these now give details of that as per the features. So for registration, past test cases are 6, failed are 4, not executed is 6. So this doesn't rhyme, but this is just to give you an idea of the conversation, you know, because from here we say not executed is 5, because I mean total is 80 and we executed 75. However, you can see here, because just to illustrate, this is just for illustration, so the numbers might not necessarily rhyme. Okay, so this is for the registration, this is for booking, this is for payment, this is for reports, and this is like the total. You can even see total is 65, while here total was 80. But this is just an illustration anyways. And then we give a pie chart. And so if you see, I'm very consistent with providing charts, right? Because when data are represented like this, it makes it easy for people to understand. Okay, so this is a chart that shows, okay, registration, booking, payment, and reports. Okay, and then the test environment is being detailed. Okay, this is the application URL, this is the operating system for what we use to test. There was database, and this was this, and all of this. So you will only provide information that are relevant to what you are testing. All right, so that's how the test report is done. Test report can be taken per sprint. That means at the end of each sprint, you give a report. You can just have a template. You need to sync with the project manager or with your team lead to understand the best test reporting template that suits the team and also brings out the information that the team needs, and also suits like the stakeholders that will also need this report. So you may be giving out reports per sprint. That means at the end of each sprint, you may need to give a report for that sprint. You may give a report at the end of the project. You may be giving reports at when you are being requested to give a report. All right, so we'll pause here and take questions for the test reporting. So no question would mean that we understand. We understand everything. It's not much anyways. It's just part of what we have been discussing so far. All right, so on the next slide, you have a task. And in the task, you are meant to carry out an exploratory testing of any website of your choice and report any 4 bugs you find on the Jira board. All right, so you report it on the Jira board. So we'll make this available because we have exhausted this. So don't forget, I'm not giving you a website, right? So that it doesn't look as if somebody's reporting somebody's bug. Okay, so what you're expected to do is go to any website of your choice and do those tests and report it. For every bug you report, make sure there is a detailed bug report. This drama we did here today by going to write summary and create ticket for 15 minutes. Typically, this is not what we are asking people to do in this task. So we expect you to create a detailed bug report. So what you can do is get a clue from
Hello?
this that we currently have under done. Okay. So this ticket we have here under done that I created, get a clue from this and use this to create your detailed bug report. So when you create your bug report, of course, the bug report is going to be under to do, right? I'm not expecting to see anybody's report in progress or in done or anywhere. you just reported it, nobody have worked on it, so there's no way it's going to be, there's no way it's going to live to. Okay, so when you create it again and again, take a clue from this tax CMQA2, right? You see the description, you see the steps, you see actual result. You must, for everybody, you must put an evidence for your actual result, be it a screenshot or be it a screen recording. And whatever evidence you put must be relevant to the bulk that you are reporting. A bulk that cannot be captured in a screenshot, if you put a screenshot there, is as good as you putting nothing. So if a bulk can be best captured in a screen recording, so you're expected to record the screen. We have already told you the tools that you can use to do all of that, so you can go and revisit your past notes to see all of those things there. So when you put them, look at exactly how this thing is done and report yours exactly like this, right? So that we can be on the same page, okay? And provide your URL. And if it was something that needed a login, maybe you log into something and that happened, like you had to log in to see that book, then you need to create a dummy account and provide us the login details, right? Because for every bug you report here is going to be reproduced, and that is how you will be scored. So what you did previously had no business with scoring, but what you are going to do now has every business to do with scoring, okay? So when you do that, you provide all the details you need to provide, and you are performing this issue. We assume you saw it on test environment 1. So you should also you should make sure that that is there. If it's something that needs test data, make sure you provide it, okay? Then you're expected to come here and fill the severity, the priority. These two things, you must tell us the severity and the priority based on your own assertion, okay? So I just had to emphasize on that so that at the end of the day, we should all be on the same page. So when you do this assignment, that means after creating it, the bug will now appear here. Okay? So it doesn't need any submission. You just need to create it before the time. So if you see from the deadline is on Friday, 3rd May by 12 noon. Okay? So that's when you are supposed to submit it. So if yours is not here and it is assessed, then that means you did not submit. And if you create it late, right? Because there will be time of creation from what you are seeing, here as well. So there's a time of creation, so we can know when it was created actually. So this one was done 13 minutes ago, so it's easy for us to know. So we'll see it, and as I told you before, everything you are doing should be first name and last name. So I believe strongly that when you were registering on Jira, you provided your first name and last name, okay? Because that's the way we will know who did what. So when you do all of that, everything will appear here. We will assess it and we'll know what to do. So for now, we are going to empty the to-do because your submission will start coming in. I know that some of you will start submitting this evening. I just hope that's not in my wildest imagination. But I know the bug hunting you went for, most people had more than one bug, even if we are not seeing it on the board. All right, so the to-do is clear. So any other thing we see here is to do. And please don't go and play with anybody's tickets. Right? I already told you, if you tamper with somebody's tickets, we are going to know that you tampered with somebody's ticket. There are no two ways about it. So don't tamper with anybody's ticket. You are not working on the same website, so I don't expect to see anybody reporting what somebody reported in quotes. Okay? So I will take question here if we have any question at this point.
Good evening. I have a question concerning the assignment. Can I go ahead? Hello?
I just asked for questions, right? So if you have questions, just go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, please, the assignment, can we get our box? Must it be one website or an app or something? We can, because you mentioned 5 bugs. So even if we don't get up to 5 in one website, we can actually get it from our other websites.